What's up guys, Ronan with another Lords of the Fallen video for you, and I would like to show today my favorite build, and that is the dual Reaper Dagger build. And I know this is a well-known build. I know it's one of the strongest builds in the game. This is what I based all my other builds off of. I wanted to try to make them as strong as this one, and I succeeded with most of them. But that is not why this is my favorite build. This is my favorite build because I just love daggers. I love fast weapons. I love the fast-paced combat. I love fire. Fire is my favorite element. So yeah, let's get started. I'll show you the build. Show you my version of the build. Really hard to get this build wrong. It's so powerful, but trust me, I've seen other YouTubers and other people that they don't get as much damage out of this build as I feel like they should. So I feel like I managed to do that. But so we have right hand light Reaper Dagger. We have the left hand light Reaper Dagger. We have the Queen's Catalyst. And for our spells, we have Infernal Weapon, of course. We have Magma Surge. We have Adir's Endurance, Adir's Rage, and Adir's Hardiness. So we're tanky, got plenty of stamina, lots of damage. And this is one of my favorite fashions in the game. It's not the most optimal. It's still heavy armor, but it's my favorite look, especially for the dual daggers. I feel like it complements them very well. We are using the Rogar's Heart, or Rogar's Delight, excuse me. Grayson's Ring, double Grayson's Ring. You will have to beat the game to get 2 of these. If not, you always have the Night's Fire. There's also the other physical damage ring that I don't seem to have at the moment. But yeah. Medium weight, of course. Our defenses aren't too bad. 851 physical. I think that's the lowest physical defense on any of my builds. I could definitely go higher. You see I have plenty of room for weight, but just like I said, I like this fashion, so this is my favorite look in the game. I even named this character after myself. That's how much I love this character, love this look, love this build. Alright, we have 9 strength, base strength. We got 29 agility, 11 endurance, 46 vitality, and 75 inferno. I'm pretty sure this is the most damaging setup. If you want to do a little more physical damage to be better against enemies that are resistant, you might want to go even with agility and inferno. But I like this way because you still get plenty of physical damage, and you can cast. So your castings are still really strong. I know we only have 1 spell, but you can really put whatever spell you have here. And honestly, you really don't need, depending on what playthrough you're on, you probably don't need this. Adir's Hardiness, and honestly you don't really need Adir's Endurance. You just have to be a little more mindful of your stamina, but you could trade this out for a spell as well. But yeah, this build is really strong. I'm only on ng1 sadly because I haven't gotten this character in ng3 yet, but it won't matter. This build would destroy ng3. So let's get in there and let's fight some bosses. We're going to pick our favorite punching bag. We'll start out with the special attack. And he's down just like that. Easy peasy. Goes tanker. That's ng+1. It wouldn't even matter if that was ng3. They would have went down just as fast. And keep in mind, he's resistant to fire. But this build does lots of physical damage and lots of fire damage. And the reason it does good physical damage is because this weapon can actually have 2 Demexis runes. I forgot to mention the runes. So we're running 2 Demexis in both and 1 Shan rune. That should give you the most damage. And for the eyes, I'm just using the eyes to give me as many soul flares as possible so I can spam the special attack as much as possible, because this is probably one of the strongest, not the strongest special attack in the game. Let's try some other bosses. I don't have a lane unlocked on this character, sadly. And there's really nothing else that's worth fighting than this guy, I guess. I was gonna fight Elaine, but I don't have her unlocked on this character. I probably should wait till stamina's not an issue. And just spam. Spam dodges and attacks. And he's down, just like that, easy. With only 11 endurance. Alright guys. I just wanted to talk about some things I've talked about in a previous video. This is my 7th video in the series, my favorite build, so I figured it's time to talk about some things I think of the game. If you want to make strong builds, some ideas. Again, I'm reiterating what I've said before, but if you want to make a strong build in this game, some things you have to know. Endurance for one. I see a lot of builds on YouTube with like 20 endurance, 20 plus endurance. I mean, with weapons like this, light weapons that don't use any stamina, you don't need that. I've had some builds in the single digit endurance, and they do just fine on ng3. I have videos of it. Some of my other characters and videos have that. It's one big factor. It's a waste of stats, especially if you're trying to squeeze as much DPS as you can out of 125 build. Like most of my builds, they're almost max damage. A lot of them are close to max damage. Like even if you had a level 200 plus character, you're not going to be doing much more damage than I am. And I sacrifice endurance, but as you see, you don't need it. I was able to spam dodges and spam attacks pretty much non-stop in that fight with only 11. Now I do have this. This does help a lot, but even without that, 11 endurance is plenty for daggers. They don't use a lot of stamina. Another thing you guys need to know to make a strong build is you always want a weapon buff. Pure physical damage, or at least without a buff, is not recommended. You always want some kind of weapon buff. I'd advise I think the best in the game are this buff, and then poison weapon, radiance weapon, and bleed weapon. I think those are for wither weapon. I think is the only other weapon buff, and I do not like wither weapon. I haven't found a good setup for it yet. If I do, I will let you guys know. But the third thing is dual wielding. Dual wield everything. I have almost all my builds are dual wielding. Dual wielding is the strongest DPS in this game, hands down. Magic comes next. Casters can be pretty clunky or hard to use in this game, but they can be powerful. But they're next in line. There are some. I have some single or two-handed weapon builds in mind that are pretty strong. I have a build my buddy kind of came up with, and I might make my version of it or just copy his to show you guys. But it's a Queen Hammer build. It's a two-handed build, and it hits like a truck, and it hits almost as hard as any dual wielding build. Dual wielding great swords, dual wielding hammer hits really hard and hits fast. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, dual wielding is where it's at. That's all the knowledge I have for you guys today. I hope you like the build. This is my favorite build. Love this build. Love the fast-paced combat of it. Love the aesthetic. Just, yeah. Alright, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.